welcome to the TSG Multimedia video podcast for August 1st, 2011. This is John Abaticola sitting with
Dan Cortopassi,
as usual, and we're doing something different this time. It's not a train and it's not tools. This time it's track, apparently.
Yeah, this is actually a piece of Kato Unitrack, which is well, some people make layouts with it. I like it for setting up temporary track if you need to do some testing, because like my layout is small, so I don't have a continuous run. So if I need to do speed matching for like DCC installs, or if just to break in an engine, I can't really do that on my layout. So I have a loop of Unitrack that I can set up, on the floor and just run the train around for a while.
Coincidentally, you can see that loop on one of our DCC installs videos, so check those out sometime. They're really good. But
it's pretty nice track. It's got code 83 rail, and it goes together real easily. And to get it apart, you just bend it a little and it comes right apart. I have found one little issue with it though, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. And this is the power track, feeder track that has the wire on it. That's what you plug into your either your DCC output or your DC power pack, either way. And some of the times when I had my loop assembled, the train would go over, and as it was going over this track, the engine would stall.
Wow, that's the last place you'd expect it to stall.
Yeah, and so there was something weird going on, and I kept wondering about that, and I was playing with it, and I finally figured out that what it is it's losing contact. And there's basically two places where it can lose contact, and one is right here. There's a little stud, this is where the power comes up from the wire through the roadbed, and these clip onto the track. And if the clips get at all loose, then it's not making good contact. And the other point where it can fail is in back, and to see that you have to take off this cover. And as you can see, the wire comes in and it's just got these clips that fit on the bottom of those studs that poke up through the track. And I don't know if no, it's not going to come off.
They just pull off though, usually?
Well, they should pull off, I would think. I was trying to show. There it goes. See, it's just like a little button-shaped thing. I don't know if you can see the shape, but it's got a little raised flange here where this little clip can grab onto it.
Actually, seems like a pretty good design.
It is most of the time, but I've found that they can get a little loose. This one's not, obviously. But if they're not set just right, you end up, you may lose some power. So my solution is just to solder it. And so to do that, I'm going to put a little bit of soldering flux on these things here.
Oh, that'll keep the solder in the right place, right?
Well, it helps the solder go where you want it to. Get the soldering iron here. And, see, because of the flux, it's now flowed down onto that stud and coated it. I'll do the same thing here. Don't want to do this too long because you don't want to melt any of the plastic. Okay, so now I'm going to solder these little studs, and I'm just going to, again with my brass wire as an applicator, I'm going to put a little bit of flux on the outside. Always work on the outside of the rails. I don't want to create anything that's going to interfere with the trains rolling over it. There we go. So that's one side. Let me get the other side. Yeah, no real trick to this other than you want to work fairly quickly so that you don't melt the plastic. And the last step is if you get any solder or flux on the top, I just have one of these abrasive blocks. I'm just going to polish it off.
Now, will any of the extra solder that's on the this outside edge of the track affect anything? Probably not, huh?
No, other than the looks, yeah. I'm not too concerned about that because like I said, I only use the Unitrack as a temporary thing anyway. I'm not really that concerned about what it looks like.
So basically, you're just making the connection more secure than what it was.
Right.
All right. So what do we got here? Some work in progress here.
Yeah, this is a shell I'm working on for it's an Athearn Blue Box GP50 that I'm doing as a Santa Fe unit. And if you've paid any attention to the website, you might have seen this one on the website. It's been listed as a work in progress for probably a year.
On the TSG Multimedia website,
yeah,
or Facebook? Oh.
On the actual website. And the reason it's a work in progress is because I'm kind of waiting for Rail Flyer model prototypes to come out with their Q fans so I can replace the molded in fans. I was originally going to use the molded in fans, but the photo etch fans look so much nicer.
Those don't actually look bad, though.
These aren't bad, no. They actually have some detail, and there actually is some like fan blades in there. So if you painted them right, they could look decent, but still the photo etch ones will look better. So if I have some on order, hopefully they actually produce them soon. So I got a Canon fan for the dynamic brake, and I put a bunch. You can see I've done a lot of other aftermarket parts. You know, here and the Canon cabin nose like usual. I also made my own antenna stand, 2 antenna stands out of brass. I've got some aftermarket tread plate, diamond tread plate, and I also used on the step wells. I used Rail Flyer model prototypes step well kits because at least on the Santa Fe units, the step wells as they were modeled on the Athearn GP50 body don't match the Santa Fe prototype. So I bought the correct step well and completely replaced the entire step well on there. I also, as you can see, I used some Canon parts to rearrange a couple of the hood doors because this is a later phase GP50 that and the doors were flipped. The latches were on the wrong side, so I cut the original doors out and replaced them.
Because the latches were on the wrong... I mean, it's a detail, though, right?
Yeah, you know,
I see an air reservoir. Did you add that, too?
That's yeah, that's an air reservoir. This is the details west part, and the air filter is detailed west. I also...
Dude, that just sounds weird to me, because the latches were on the wrong side.
Yeah. This also has...
You're not obsessive about this or anything, are you?
No, never.
Of course not.
I also have the this thingy here, the blower duct, because this is, like I said, it's a later phase GP50 that has the newer style blower duct on it. Also has anti-climbers both ends. I did some work on the pilots as well. Put some, I think there's another detail associates part with the MU hose. This one's going to have a plow, so I think I may have, I guess I didn't drill the holes yet. But anyway.
Doesn't mean you won't.
Yeah, I will. I will get to that. But anyway, hopefully eventually pretty soon they'll get those fans made. I also, I replaced the rear end of the hood because this Santa Fe unit that I'm modeling had no number boards or anything, so I used a Canon piece to just totally replace the rear end, and also did some work on this rear pilot too, and this little plate down here is from Rail Flyer. Anyway, lots of stuff in this model, so I'm pretty anxious to actually get it done, but like I said, still waiting on the fans.
What's with the lone grab iron there? What's that for?
Oh, well, there's one on this side. There's a whole ladder of them on this side. I just haven't put them on yet.
I could see that.
Yeah, I think they put the full ladder on one side and just a single grab on this side because you don't really need 2 ladders, I guess, to get to the top.
So what would the single grab be for? Just
to have something to hold on to, I guess.
But wouldn't it have a rail in the back too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. You can never be too careful with these things.
Maybe when you're climbing up the steps or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
anyway,
that makes sense.
That's how they are. So, all right, and this is actually one of my first Kato diesels that I ever bought.
Oh, wow.
This is Southern Pacific GP35R number 6322, and it was actually came from the factory painted as 6322, although it was in the wrong scheme for at least for the era that I'm modeling. It was in the gray and red scheme, and this is one of the ones that got repainted into the failed SPSF merger scheme, the red and yellow
Orange.
War bonnet.
Oh, I thought it was orange and red.
No, it's yellow and red.
Yeah.
And and I'm pretty sure from what I can tell from my research, it stayed painted that way until the UP merger. So I'm not sure what became of it then. It probably got sold. I don't think UP kept any of the GP35s. But anyway, again, I've done a lot of, don't have this quite attached yet, I just have it sitting here, but more Canon parts, Canon fans, cab, usual stuff. I also got this one, also from what I can tell, kept its light package.
Oh, I can see all those lights in the nose there.
So
huh?
yeah, I got the nose lights, and I got the gyro light up here, and these are also drilled for fiber optics, so when it comes time to do decoder install with all the lights and everything, it'll be ready for that. And I didn't do a full paint strip on this, but what I did do is I have one of those Badger hobby media blasting guns. It looks like an airbrush, but it shoots aluminum oxide particles.
Oh yeah, you talked about taking the gloss off of an N-scale ladder using that thing on a couple
Yeah, if you have Delrin parts and you use that just to scour it a little bit, it will help the paint adhere to it, I found. But what I did with this is I scoured it somewhat. I didn't get all the paint off, but I did get all the lettering off. And the main thing you want to do when you're stripping is just, one, have a good surface to paint over, and two, make sure that none of the lettering or other paint detail is going to show through, so it looks like you painted over something. As long as the paint's not too thick to begin with and it's not hiding details, which this wasn't. And since this was basically one color, there weren't any parting lines where you'd have like two colors coming together and you have a line there or something that you need to get rid of. So I didn't feel the need to take it down completely to bare plastic. I also did some work on the back. I got the SP light package. I haven't put the red gyro light on yet, but got the grab irons on. I got some BLMA covers for class light blanks and things. And I also filled in the number boards. These are, I basically used the Kato number boards and glued them in, and then used some putty to fill the seams, because the SP GP35Rs had no number boards at all. They weren't just painted over, they were just gone. So that's what I did in the back here. And hopefully when I paint these, you won't see any seams, hopefully. So anyway, this is going to be, like I said, in the Kodachrome red and yellow and black scheme.
Alright, so that'll do it for this video podcast. Make sure you download and watch next month's video podcast, and keep in mind we have our audio podcast every month on the 15th, and if you subscribe you'll get it automatically, so keep that in mind and keep watching. And be sure you check out our Facebook page and our YouTube presence as well, because you'll find stuff there that you won't get anywhere else. So thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.